Hello, and welcome back to the Magic Lighthouse podcast. My name is Violet, and I'm your host. And I just want to start out with wishing you a happy holiday, happy New Year, Merry Christmas, happy Hanukkah, all the things, or none of the things, whatever floats your boat. I want to hit a few topics, but mainly I want to give you some tips for self-care and self-love for 2023. Let's make this a great year of just connecting to ourselves, of nurturing ourselves, so we have enough for the overflow, because we give so much. If you're listening to this podcast, you're probably a giver. You probably give and want to see the best in people, the best for people, help raise the vibration of the planet, all of those good things. So this podcast is for you. I'm going to, before we dive in, I want to do a little meditation, a little conscious breathing with you guys. Maybe put a little Reiki in there, so we can all be settled and gathered together for this podcast. Yay. All right. So find a comfortable position wherever you are. You can sit back in your chair or lie down. And take a nice deep inhale. And let that breath go. Take another deep breath and think about what you're grateful for. And let it out. And one more deep breath, holding it at the top longer than before. Let it out with a sigh. And if you want to accept a little bit of Reiki, it's on its way. Just say that you accept it to yourself or out loud. You accept the Reiki being sent to you. And what Reiki is, it's energy healing sent to you from the universe, from the universal life source of energy. And I'm channeling it to you if you want it. If not, then it'll go to the next person who does. And I believe that everyone can benefit from just a few moments of conscious breathing. So thanks for doing that with me, and let's get into the rest of this podcast. So for those of you who are new to the podcast, my name is Violet. I'm a Reiki master. I host online events. I host in-person events too. I have many years of dance experience, mostly around embodiment and like dancing for yourself, dancing for yourself enjoyment and pleasure. And I like to merge that with my Reiki stuff. So if you've ever come to a workshop, you might have been through a little bit of a movement guided meditation with some Reiki embedded into it, or you might have come to an online event where I channel Reiki to the group and then individually to each people. I might have worked with you one-on-one, and you might be new to the podcast, which is awesome. So welcome. This podcast, it's around basically finding what sparks the light within yourself. And I love to help people guide them back to themselves. Sounds a little weird or funny or like, what? Why do I need guidance back to myself? Well, in this day and age, it's very easy to be led astray from your own heart and your own inner light. You know, there's career, there's family obligations, there's society expectations, there's friends, family, whatever. Like, it was basically took me my whole life to figure out who I am and what do I love and where's my inner light. And that took me my whole life of, 31 years living on this planet. I know it's not that long, but it is a long time to finally realize, like, oh, going in nature and like kind of disconnecting from society and people and things and expectations helps me to remember who I am, what I love to do, what do I want to do, what is my mission on life. And that's what I'm here to support other people with their journey. Just so you know, it's raining here, so you might hear the little pitter patter of the raindrops on top of my RV. I've been living in this thing for 2 years. We've been traveling the world, traveling in the country, in the RV, looking for where we want to call home. So a little update for you guys. it's been a while since I posted a podcast. I acknowledge that. And, January 2023, I'm feeling inspired and motivated and like newly committed to this vision that I have for the Magic Lighthouse podcast and the Magic Lighthouse brand website entirely. So, quick update. We've been in Humboldt County, Northern California since August, and we are currently securing a home, place to live. We want to set down roots here. We have already created a little community for ourselves of people that we feel are just like aligned with our soul missions and people that we get along with. This place is just so magical and beautiful, and it's easy to just let yourself just be and integrate into the forest and see what comes out of that. So later on in this episode, well, pretty soon, I'm going to give you guys some tips for self-love and self-care in 2023 and beyond. And at the end, I'm going to give you my favorite tip that just like keeps me going, that keeps me rejuvenated and rested, that is awesome. So stick through to the end. So regarding where we live and where we've found, I definitely want to share more about that, and I think that will be in a future podcast. The town that we specifically found and discovered and came upon for ourselves is a very small, very cute, very quaint town that is just like, it's magical, and you have to really want to be there, and the cove has to want you there. Not only the people, but like the energy of the place. And the place's energy is just so powerful. It feels very like, if you're familiar with Lemuria or Atlantis, like it almost feels like an island. If you go down to the rocks, it's just the electricity there is different, and you can feel it. I think part of it is because it's so rural. It takes 45 minutes or 40 minutes driving down a winding road in the middle of the woods to get to it. And not a lot of people like to make that drive. It's not an easy place to live in, especially in the winter and the stormy season like it is now. It's been raining for the past 3 weeks, and it's supposed to rain for the next 2 and beyond. And this is just where myself and my husband feel called to be. And my son, who's about to turn 3, he seems to really enjoy it here too. So we're just kind of like going with what feels good in ourselves. Where are we getting the input from our surroundings that this is a good place to be? Like, do people want to hang out? Do people want to are people receptive to our offerings? Which they are. And are we building a community and friends and things like that? So more on that to come. I just wanted to share about that. So next, I want to share quickly a little bit about what am I working on, and rather, what's the vision for the Magic Lighthouse. I realize I never actually shared that with anyone outside of my inner circle or anyone outside of my mastermind friend group, and I want to share this with you guys since you are part of the Magic Lighthouse. And what I initially see, or what I've seen when I first started the Magic Lighthouse in 2020, was a kind of like a combination between a resource, like a place to find resources, so healers, mystics, basically people in the conscious community who are here to make a difference, here to up-level the world, here to raise consciousness on the planet. That's what we're here for. And I want to have a directory of people that you can just search, like apothecary or acupuncture or Reiki or yoga, and it'll come up with a list of people in your area or online to work with to support you in your spiritual journey. So there's that's one part of the vision. The other part of the vision is to keep producing podcasts to inspire, to motivate, to just create this community, to have this community ongoing, bringing light into the world. And once a month, my goal is to host at least one group Reiki session. And these are typically up to about 30 people, sometimes less, sometimes more. and it's where we come together in an online container, usually in Zoom, and we set our intentions, and there's usually a theme around the Reiki group, and we do I channel the Reiki to the group and to each individual person, and then we come out of the Reiki, everyone shares their experience, and then we complete, and it's usually amazing, grounding, really peaceful and healing time. So there's that as well. Let me see what else I wrote. I wrote a lot of ideas. I also have, my moon calendars that I've posted to Etsy, and got my newsletter. So if you want to be added to the newsletter to find out when the podcasts are coming out, when the Reiki group events are coming out, any products that are coming out, you're more than welcome and invited to join the newsletter. And there's more. I don't want to keep rambling on, but that is part of the vision, and I wanted to share that with you all. So if you have any ideas, if you want to be a sponsor for the podcast, if you want to be on the directory of the Magic Lighthouse website, if you want to, come to an event, whatever, feel free to send me an email, themagiclighthousepodcast@gmail.com, or go to my website. I would be more than happy to hear from you. All right. Well, thanks for listening to that portion of this podcast. I can feel like I'm a little rusty. I hope you can forgive me. I'm not as eloquently flowing as I feel like I should be, but who should I be like, and how should I be? Should I just wait till I'm perfect and then not do anything? That's called procrastinating. So this perfectly segues into my tips for self-love and self-care for 2023. One is be easy on yourself and just do the best you can, because doing the best you can is the best you can do, said by the cricket from Pinocchio in the version made by the guy who made Labyrinth, which is a pretty intense movie. Do your best and forget the rest. Go back to doing what you loved as a kid. This is number 2. Go back to doing what you loved as a kid. There's a quote from this lady on Twitter, and her Instagram is Zuri Mauri. I will link her below. I think her quote, it went viral, and it's just it's stuck with me for the last few months. And it is something like, let me see if I can pull it up here. I cannot, because my internet is out, because we are out of power. But anyways, the quote is around going back. Oh, she says it's funny how so much of finding yourself is going back to doing the things you loved as a kid. That was a summary of it, but it really stuck with me. And I remember I used to love rollerblading as a kid, and I loved playing dress up. And there's a lot of other things that I love to do. But something I've started to take on recently in the last couple months is I got roller skates for my birthday, and I've been roller skating and having a lot of fun and falling and just remembering what it's like to be a kid and playing with makeup. And I started making jewelry and doing these little goddess chains and whatnots and gifting them. And I might add them to my shop. Who knows? We'll see. But that's been a lot of fun, and it's been very healing. And it's been just really nice for my inner child to come out and play. Number 3 is spend lots of time in nature. And if you find yourself being around a lot of people or a lot of technology, and it can sometimes feel a little stressful, who am I? What do I like to do? Just disconnect, take your lunch break, go for a walk, go to a trail. If you can, take a week in nature, go camping. However you make it work, just make it work. Even if it's just going outside, taking your shoes off and touching the floor, touching the ground with your feet. You can count that as being in nature. Remember, number 1, go easy on yourself. Do the best you can. So if the best you can do is running your hands underwater when you're doing the dishes, you can consider that being in nature, because you're grounding, you're cleansing, you're giving yourself that time to be with yourself and to be with an element of nature. Number 4, schedule breaks throughout your day, especially if you're an entrepreneur or if you're a busy mom or a busy dad. Taking breaks is essential for your optimum growth, potential, self-care. You cannot pour from an empty cup. I'm sure you've heard of that. So schedule breaks. Have an accountability partner in scheduling your breaks. Go to lunch with a coworker. Go to, text your friend, your mom. Hey, let's take a break together at this time. Or, hey, are you taking a break? I'm going to take a break. Or when are you going to take your break? Just something like put it into your day so that you don't just forget about it or rush through the work day, work week without taking that break. Number 5, get your body moving in fun ways that bring you joy. So for me, that's dancing, like belly dancing, or yoga. People like karate, going running, going for a walk. I'm grateful that I have my dog because she forces us to go for walks, and it always is a good thing. Unless it's a raining torrential storm, but normally we figure something out. Go in the dips. But get your body moving. Get that adrenaline pumping. Get your blood circulating. Number 6, don't interact with people who don't respect your boundaries, and let go of the guilt when you do so. And also let go of trying to help others heal who don't want to, or be gentle with other people who are on a different path or a different healing schedule as yourself, I suppose you can say it. It's kind of a balance. Some people try to help their family members or friends, elevate or ascend or heal or whatever, but maybe their soul is not meant to heal right now in that particular way. Maybe their soul is on a different path than yourself. So the best thing you can do is put up that boundary, however it is. Instead of going to a lunch that you feel drained going to, maybe go for a walk by yourself and then connect with such person that you want to build that relationship with in another way. Maybe a phone call, or maybe, I don't know, something else. Gauge it with how you feel and make the priority feeling good within yourself. And it's not to gaslight, or it's not to have an ego trip. There's a fine line, or there's a delicate way to handle it. But essentially the point is, don't put yourself in a position where you know that you're not going to be heard or loved or felt or seen. Put yourself around people who see you, who feel you, who hear you, who love and appreciate you and your wisdom. I think I'm on number 7. Doesn't matter. Trying on and adapting a skincare routine or something routine. Maybe try dry brushing, some kind of routine that helps you to just connect with your skin, your face, your body. Maybe get a little hand massager and massage your arms and your legs before you go to bed. I know that lots of people are passionate about skincare, and that's something that I'm learning to get more involved in as I get older, and I'm noticing the lines, and I'm just what is happening? So if you need a good skincare product, you got to hit up my friend Lindsay with lindsayjoseph.com, Lindsay Joseph Skincare. This is a shameless plug. I love her. She's one of my best friends, and she uses all natural products with intention. She does them in small batch quantities, and it's all beautiful, high frequency, beautiful stuff. And her Instagram is Sourceful Being if you want to connect with her there. But hit up some of those, toner, moisturizer, bath salts, all those fun things to add to your skincare and your self-care list routine. And last but not least, my favorite and simplest ritual that I mentioned at the beginning of this podcast for self-care, especially if you're a busy mom, an entrepreneur, busy dad, if you're just on the go and you don't have time to schedule self-care, do it when you are doing something else, like a shower. I have what I call sacred showers, where I play a really beautiful playlist. Usually it's my Goddess playlist on Spotify. I have a Magic Lighthouse playlist on Spotify that is just all empowering music, affirmation music, and good music that makes me feel nice and sexy and empowered and uplifted, and I'll dance a little bit. I'll, wash my hair, wash my body, all of that, take care of myself. Visualize the water as clearing my energy, cleansing my energy, getting me ready for the day, or washing off the day if it's at the end of the night. And it's just a special time for myself that I don't have to tend to a toddler, I don't have to tend to a husband or a dog or the house, or and I love to do all those things. I do all those things every day, all day, and this is time that I get to take for myself. I get to lock the door, play music. After I get out of my shower, maybe I'll do some salt scrub on my face or sugar scrub on my hands, brush my teeth, just like feel myself in the mirror. And that's, and it's so simple. And it's just like, that's something that really changed my life, is instead of rushing through the shower just to get to the next thing, or just to make sure I can take care of whatever needs to take care of, actually taking maybe 30 minutes to myself, part-time in the shower, part-time afterwards brushing my hair. A lot of times I wouldn't brush my hair because I'm just like, I don't have time for that, even though I have a lot of time. But mentally, I got into the habit of just rushing through life. Can anyone else relate to that? So let me know in the comments of, wherever you're watching or listening to this, what are your self-care tips for 2023? And do any of these self-care tips sound good to you that you're going to try on or take on for this coming year and beyond? Let me know. So, and you can also let me know on Instagram at the Magic Lighthouse. I love to hear from you all. So those are my main tips. I would love to have you join me for my next group Reiki session. It's going to be January 21st. January 21st. It's a Saturday. It's going to be from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I haven't quite decided on a price yet. It'll probably be $25 or pay what you can, but the link will be below. I'm going to write up the thing after this, so check out the link, register. And I usually like to do a pay what you can option for those of you who feel like you really need the Reiki but you can't afford it, or that's whatever life situation is happening. I like to have an option for you. So we're going to be focusing on new beginnings and just like getting you powerfully set up for this coming year, helping you to release everything from last year that you no longer need, and just like bringing you into this new year with freedom and ease and flow, healing, and just like, this is part of self-care, taking the time to focus on your energy, focus on cleansing, focus on healing. And it's perfect because before I listened to this before I started recording this podcast, it's interesting, I was listening to my Goddess playlist, and literally at 4:44, I was listening to a song that popped up called New Beginnings, and it's from Moonlight, Scorpio, Equanimous, Nearest. I don't know, I guess these three people collaborated. I don't know, but I was like really vibing the song, and I looked at the name, and I was just like blown away that it's called New Beginnings. And it was at 4:44 right when I was about to start filming and recording this podcast. So I had to just share that I really love this song and I want you all to listen to it. And I'm going to possibly play it or link it in the description so you can jam out to it yourself. So thank you so much for joining me today. I'm very excited to commune with you. And if you would like to rate, leave a review, I would love that wherever you listen to podcasts. Stay tuned. Follow me on Instagram. I don't know. I forgot what to say at the end of these things. Thanks for listening. If you find value in this, if you want to share these tips for people in your life that you know could use some self-care support, please forward them this podcast. Alrighty. Well, I love you all. Have a beautiful rest of your day. And maybe I'll see you at the Reiki group session. Hopefully. Alrighty. Take care.